Going on to the culture part of the podcast, you have Steven Crowder making history by replatforming Alex Jones and more. Now, this is Steven Crowder. Also, he's a very famous stand-up comedian, political commentator, and his show is famously called Louder with Crowder. One of my favorite segments being Change My Mind, where he goes to universities and it's usually not like throwing a little bit like throwing, what do you call it, holy water onto someone who's not holy and they melt. It's some of the interactions are like that when the college students read some of the facts and they just have their minds blown. A very entertaining and as well as educational thing that he does. Now, recently, if you look at the media industries, he went away, or he left part with Blaze Media, which is another Texas-based media company, more conservative. And it looks like he's teamed up with Rumble, which is one of the fastest growing alternatives to YouTube, as my company will start posting on there as well. And it'll be interesting to see this video production of this announcement was legendary. I don't know how much they're spending for their graphics department or their editors or their film crew, but it's on par with what you see in Hollywood. So I thought it'd be interesting. We'll play a first intro, and then we'll play the Alex Jones segment. Well.
Have you been compromising day in and day out when no compromise is necessary?
Within 2 days, this video got 186,000 views and 114,000 likes. Now, that being said, for a while, he's been gaining more popularity on Rumble as well.
And I'll go one further. Where no compromise should ever be expected from you. It is time to match intensity. Every single one of you watching or listening right now needs to flip a switch in your head where you will make those sons of bitches embarrassed that they ever even thought of asking that compliment.
Phenomenal music, and the graphics on the screen are on par with Hollywood or better.
Imagine the founding fathers looking down and going, what the f*** are you people doing?
So that's Nick DiPaolo, another person he's replatforming.
You're talking about the same people that
comedian Brian Callen.
Against misinformation, who platform Adam Schiff.
This case needs to be blown up. The idea
This is Mr. Gunslinger, very famous YouTuber, obviously pro-Second Amendment.
needs to be held accountable.
Why can we not condemn evil behavior?
And this is the first ever network on Rumble. It begins with the replatforming begins in awesome font. Now, interestingly enough, it's also noted that Crowder recently surpassed $7.5 million in subscriptions on Rumble within the first couple months, which is astronomical. So $7.5 million in subscription payments. That's an astronomical amount of success. Now for one of my favorite parts, reintroducing Alex Jones, who's been an enigma on the internet for years, is every social media company ostracized him all at once.
Took the guns. Allen took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns.
And if you try to take our guns, 1776 will commence again.
Sticking with Facebook, it is one of several companies today that are limiting the content of far-right podcast InfoWars.
Facebook, Apple, and YouTube have all taken down content from Jones and his InfoWars channel.
Is all done at once as well, so there's no way it wasn't coordinated. My 3 cents. It used to be 2 cents, but for your inflation, gotta charge 3 cents. Although it's free to click that subscribe button.
Whenever I talk about Alex Jones, my wife will not let me into the house until I've been deloused.
Anyone who believes in Alex Jones and believes these theories, you really gotta go get help. Alex Jones.
That person, the Young Turks host, he actually had the devil under Alex Jones as a font description.
Has been ordered to pay $965 million.
Look how there's a move to control information. It's always been. And it ought to scare people that you got to move to indoctrinate the children of America. If they can get you to be part of a group, an environmentalist or part of your minority group, black,
Latino, and indigenous people are suffering and dying disproportionately.
Dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
They'll have their little tailor-made people that they're bought and paid for to claim to be your leaders.
We're looking at a giant war in February right now.
That was from 2021.
Currently, that's the projection.
There's an entire agenda afoot to force the population to undergo different type of medical treatments, namely vaccines.
In 2002, there is a tyrannical organization calling itself the New World Order, pushing for worldwide government.
And cryptocurrency, and of course, that's happening right now.
Cashless society.
If any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s, running the Mujahideen war, whose family builds all the military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now, sits on the board of Iridium Satellite. He's the
That was July 25th, 2001.
boogeyman they need.
I've been shadow banned. I've been called a liar. I've been silenced on virtually every platform created by man. My life has been threatened repeatedly. They've tried to destroy me, but I've survived. And that's why I'm joining the club.
A little hard to hear him. He said, "That's why I'm joining Mug Club," which is how Steven Crowder's grown his whole platform as a subscription service, in which you also get a free mug. Good marketing.
Alex Jones, everybody.
Thank you. Listen, I want to thank everybody tuning in. I want to thank everybody tuning in right now, but I want to be deadly serious here. I've not been this excited ever! Woo! Yeah, Mug Club, baby! Wow! So, I've known Steven for more than 10 years. Used to, beg him to come on my show. Always a really busy guy, and he's been popular forever. But we kind of knew each other. But as soon as I got deplatformed, he saw as a threat. He said, "I want you on immediately." The day after, when everybody else was running away, including my friends, he was like, "No, this is a danger to everybody. I see what this is." And then again, everybody else was shutting down during the lockdown. I didn't. He didn't. And so it's that type of instinctive courage that I really respect. We've become good friends the last 3 or 4 years. Since then, I love coming up here. I love the energy. And let's be clear, InfoWars isn't going anywhere, or Austin Operation, my regular show that's on talk radio everywhere. But we've been talking for years about some type of collaboration, and he had to move from where he was to trailblaze and do this. And what's incredible is it's succeeding. But here's the key. We don't just have the left and the globalist and big tech and the intelligence agencies. We now know that we're censoring and controlling and suppressing election information and vaccine information and open border and human trafficking information and fentanyl info and Afghan withdrawal info. It's the big think tanks that Crowder alluded to earlier that are so-called conservative that have billions of dollars over the last decade to buy and control the populist, nationalist, common sense capitalist movement that this country was founded on, that made it the apple of the world's eye.
Can't help but think of Fox News, which for most of my life everyone thought was hardcore right wing. And then a couple months back, they fired their most popular talent, Tucker Carlson, and more whistleblowers show that, yeah, they're not conservative at all, and their ratings are crashing precipitously to basically nothing. Ironically, Tucker Carlson now gets more hits on Twitter, where he platforms the show, than he ever got on Fox.
And so we're not just challenging the left and Hollywood and big tech. We're challenging conservative Inc. And it didn't make sense to some people that weren't clued in or on the inside of what really goes on. 6 months ago, when Crowder was making a big deal about the other big conservative platforms that aren't conservative, they interface with YouTube and Facebook and before Twitter was sold to Musk, and literally sit around in smoky rooms laughing at the conservatives. And I've been around it. It's disgusting to people that have authenticity, like Steven Crowder and this incredible crew. These are real people. No, these are real people right here. Gerald Morgan, all of these comedians, all these people have turned down tens of millions of dollars to tell the truth. There's people out there like Ted Nugent lost probably $100 million the last 6-7 years supporting Trump. It's been in the news. Just no more stadiums, no more nothing. It's over for him. So there's not many people like that. Probably should get Ted Nugent over here. But what I'm getting down to is we need an independent network that isn't controlled. And I'm sorry, Twitter is better than some of the other so-called conservative or open platforms, but it's still not even halfway free. Yeah.
He's still not on Twitter as well. That's my favorite litmus test when I meet someone to see if they believe in free speech. Is just ask them, should Alex Jones have a platform? Because again, that's perhaps the best test to see if someone really believes in free speech, or if they just say, oh yeah, they pretend to like free speech. Because again, really doesn't protect the type of speech that is common knowledge or common agreement really doesn't need protection because it's common. There's no controversy. Freedom of speech really means defending the opinions that are not popular, whether you agree or not. And it used to be a philosophy that every American used to believe and hold dear to their heart, that I might not agree with you, but I'll fight to the death for your right to speak. I'll fight to the death for your right to say it. Every American used to believe that, what our country is founded on. And yet, unfortunately, throughout the years, more and more people either pretend that they like free speech, but they don't really, or some are all out embracing censorship, calling for the political enemies to be censored, which is morally vacuous to say the least.
Halfway free feels better than no free. And I'm not even criticizing Twitter. It's just not free. So many really effective people that expose communist China and certain owners of Twitter's connection to it, they're all still censored. But not Mug Club. And I know the plan that Crowder has, he's told me about it, he's told you a lot about it, is to literally bring on hundreds of providers, and I guess the long term, even thousands, and then use the great folks at Rumble that really are free and open to energize this. So people always say, hey, if you want your own internet, why don't you build it? Or you want your own platform, build it. Well, it's very hard to do, but he's been...
Especially when they shut it down. Never forget what happened to Parler, where they foolishly put their platform on a cloud platform they didn't control. And they decided, and the app stores just blacklisted them overnight, and they crashed to basically nothing.
Able to do it because of you, the Mug Club members, and that gives him that independence. So you literally aren't just the tail of the dog, you're the whole shooting match. You're the whole dog, the teeth, the brain, the feet, the guts, the heart, the brain, the eyes and ears with the investigative unit and everything. You are this operation, and if you get excited about this, it's game over for the New World Order. Listen, we came and founded a new country to get away from tyranny. We weren't perfect, but became the freest, greatest thing ever. So it's that the Israelites left Egypt under Ramses II, and they've now dug up all the tablets and the history, and that's a true story. It really happened. It's on the Egyptian hieroglyphs as well. So Steven Crowder and the Mug Club and this whole operation is literally leading everybody out of Egypt, and we don't have to wait 50 years or 40 years to cross the River Jordan, folks. We're doing it right now. It's already launched, out of the gate successful. That is a true American success story of dedication, work, not backing down, and it challenges the entire system. So when this is successful, and it already is, but I mean super successful, it will then be the example to all the other big so-called conservative populist talk show hosts who don't like serving the globalists but are too scared to buck them, to let them then have the courage to follow us. So this is true leadership and history that you're watching right now today. Now here's another key point. If you look at the 40 plus billion that Anheuser-Busch has lost with the entire debacle with Bud Light, that's a great example of us saying.
And just a couple days ago, they just sell 8 of their brands of the 52 that were in Anheuser-Busch InBev's portfolio.
We're going to withdraw support of people targeting children and sexualization and this whole transhumanist movement. That's what it is. I mean, even Yuval Noah Harari at the WEF says, oh, this is just the beginning. If you'll accept 2 men having a baby, you'll accept cyborgs, all the rest of it. Clones, animal-human hybrids, which is all out in the open now. But instead of just boycotts, what about boycotts? And that's what this is, folks. You get all these great shows, all these great memberships, all these great things, and know that you're part of history, bucking the system, American Revolution, 1776, Worldwide 2.0. So the boycotts are great. Pull your money out of the globalist system, but then spend it with the institutions and organizations that are standing for freedom. If Anheuser-Busch just lost, I think the number I saw last week was $41 billion. It just keeps going up and up.
That stock, in terms of their revenue, they're down, depending on what report you read, between 390, 395, or $400 million in sales for their fiscal Q2, evaporated compared to the same fiscal Q2 last year.
25% market share in all of their products. Think about what would happen if people spent $1 billion on Mug Club instead of $10 million.
The last sales figure is actually a little bit better, is 25.9% decrease in Bud Light specifically, We had Yangling up by 22%. And I believe Miller Lite was 19.6%. Coors was 16% up. Everyone is up except for Bud Light.
Or whatever, because this guy's putting almost everything back into the operation, because it is about the excitement of standing up for liberty and connecting to our forefathers and foremothers that created this country. And that's what this is about. Stephen kept saying, it doesn't make business sense to not roll over and make the hundreds of millions and salt the system. But wait, if the whole country and the world's gone, that money doesn't matter. It makes perfect business sense, because our business is prosperity and freedom and justice and Americana 1776 worldwide. So that's what this is. That's what this is all about. So we've been talking for 6 months about doing this, and I said, well, I'm going to keep InfoWars going, the great crew we do. And they thought, and I said, what's your idea? And I had my idea already written down. They said, a once-a-week show, build off that, then start building some other shows. And with the funding we get from this, we'll be able to hire back more reporters, do more investigative stuff on the ground at the border and at Bilderberg and at Davos and at the RNC and DNC. So this is a match made in heaven. Everybody needs to tell your friends, your family, your neighbors, hey, you want a second American Revolution? You don't like what's happening? Well, this is the group, this is the organization that is the best there is. We're not up here saying, we're Superman. We're not up here saying we have all the answers. But you know what? It's not bragging when it's fact. People need to recognize that this operation, what Steven Crowder and his crew are doing, is the best, open, freest, biggest thing there is in the world in opposition to the New World Order. And hey, you tune into my show, you're gonna get hardcore analysis and over-the-horizon information on what the globalists are planning next. That's all I do is study it. It's hardcore. Don't slit your wrist after you watch it. But the good thing is you can then tune in to the incredible, amazing, better than the nighttime comedy shows, live delivery of these guys, and they make it fun. And that's why I like the energy here. It's quite frankly, InfoWars, great crew, great people, but it's like you are in a bunker. We've been doing it 20-something years, and it's crazy. So it's a breath of fresh air to just add this family to what's happening, to be part of this organization, and to have the InfoWars crew now you're becoming part of this organization. I'm just blessed and honored. It's incredible. And at 11 a.m., just coming up in about an hour from now, I'll do my live show out of the classic Steven Crowder Studios. We're going to have these guys in here with us. It's so exciting. So 11 a.m. Central, Infowars.com/show and band.video. But I want everybody watching, that means on Infowars everywhere, to be part of this revolutionary act. You want resistance? You want somebody to stand up? You want somebody to fight? Go now to the Mug Club. Go now, ladies and gentlemen, and use the promo codes that are there to get a month off. Do it now. Go to Mug Club. Take action, because the globalists want war. They want to destroy us. Well, guess what? We didn't start this fight. We don't want it. But if you want to fight, you better believe.
Now, it's hilarious that in terms of video production, right at the peak as he's saying that, they cut the video and it says, this show is not safe for YouTube. We are still live on Rumble. So more brilliant marketing, actually, because it forces you to, or incentivizes you to go to the more free platform. Now, say what you want about Alex Jones, but he's damn good at getting the crowd riled up and selling, because pretty persuasive, many would say pretty persuasive speech, I would think. So it'll be interesting to see, as alternative social media as well as the consumable streaming platforms grow ever exponentially, how many people are going to support them and join the Mug Club. Time shall tell, but it looks like they're off to a darn good, compelling start. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of August, so if you click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to take the time to like and subscribe and comment. The comments help the channel grow and develop, and greatly appreciate them. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.